Hey everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the KGM Technologies R30K. Everybody loves a K-can. I've already reviewed the full-size suppressor in this line. So if you missed that, go ahead and click that link above. I'll also throw a link below so you don't miss anything because I really went in depth on that can. We're going to try to keep things a little shorter here in the studio because we have a huge range session coming to you shortly. So before we get started, SHOT Show was very productive. That's why I haven't been on the channel lately. We were there for about a week in Vegas, got a lot of contacts there, and we set up a lot of video reviews for the 2022 year. So stay tuned for that. I just landed our 20th discount for my gold members on Patreon, so that was freaking awesome. We now have 10% off for my gold members and above on Founders Cigar. So it's a veteran-based cigar company. They source the cigars from the Dominican Republic. They smoke very good. We've already tried them out. Filmed a little fun little slapstick video for Instagram the other day, and it's smooth draw. Connecticut wrap, like a light smoke is what I prefer. So that's the one that I tried so far. I'm gonna go ahead and try the rest of them. But they do offer 10% off to my gold members on Patreon. So huge thank you to Founder Cigars for that. I think that pretty much covers the intro. Let's go ahead and get covered. We're gonna cover this sucker in depth, cover all the specs, and of course, we're gonna get shooting at the range. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, same awesome case that you're used to seeing, the Nanook. This is a 904, has a little gas purge seal there on the end and two locking holes on the side, so you can check this in your baggage and fly with it. Opening the case, you have that beautiful etched blue and grayish black foam here. Really well done, good presentation on KGM's part. You also have a little QR code deal here that you can take a snapshot of with your smartphone. It takes you to the website so you can get all the specs that I'm about to tell you. So first things first, you have the R30K, and then you have your takedown tool. Also in the case that I took out earlier were the Apex screws, and we'll get to that if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, first things first. R30K comes in an overall length of 5.8 inches, a diameter of 1.75 inches, and a weight of 9 ounces. Now comparing that to the full size, that is 1.5 inches shorter and 1.1 ounces lighter than the full size variant of this R30 line. Tube construction remains the same. You have grade 9 titanium for the outer tube, and then the baffle stack on the inside is grade 5 titanium. Finish is gonna be a nice satin sniper gray Cerakote, high temperature variant of that Cerakote. And then as far as caliber ratings, 223 all the way up to 300 Norma. So it can cover a pretty wide range of calibers, but it is optimized for 300 blackout and 7.62 by 39, this specific K version. Now it does have a NSR or net sound reduction of 20 decibels. So this is gonna put it around the range of what earmuffs would do for you. Anytime you lob off length on a suppressor that's been previously optimized, like the full-size R30, you are gonna lose some sound reduction. But with that, you gain mobility, and this is gonna be more for the person who is stacking up at doors, kicking doors in, law enforcement agencies, stuff like that. And those of you out there at the range that like running drills that don't want a lot of weight and length hanging on the end of your rifle. So this is gonna be a really good prospect for SBR builds out there. As far as the warranty, lifetime as usual, and this one comes in at a retail price of $950. Now on the back, got your takedown tool. You do have a 5/8 by 24 direct thread mount that has spanner cuts in it for the corresponding wrench, and you also have wrench flats. So you have two options to remove this guy. So it does ship with this 5/8 by 24 mount, and the length and the weight that I told you earlier was including this because you need this to mount to your weapon, so we included it. Removing that reveals the industry standard 1.375 by 24 mount interface. Yay! Everybody's pretty much doing this now, and it's awesome. So you have a plethora of options here. Today we are going to be shooting it on my Sig Sauer MCX 300 Blackout SBR. We are going to be shooting it on the Knights Armament SR15 and also my Remington 700 SD. So 300 Blackout, 5.56, and 308. Give you guys a nice, well-rounded look at the tone of this bad boy. Now, if you didn't watch the previous review, you're probably wondering what all these little guys are at the end. And that is their APEC, stands for Adjustable Port End Cap. So what you could do is if you're using this on a precision setup, or I guess you could use it on an SBR to control your recoil impulse, what you could do is remove certain ports, okay, and open them up, because these are little tiny set screws, and you can direct the flow of the can, the recoil path of the can, like a compensator on the end of a handgun. That being said, you will lose some sound reduction. I prefer to shoot these with all the apex closed. Another side fact there while we're on recoil is somehow this can is smaller, it's shorter in length, and it provides 8% more recoil reduction than the full-size version. Now, considering generally with suppressors, the recoil reduction comes from the gas and the suppressor, you know, pulling the barrel forward, pulling the firearm forward as that gas goes through the baffle stack, right? It's counteracting the rearward movement by the gas getting caught in the baffle stack. Considering this has less baffles in the full size, I thought that was pretty interesting the way that works. But, you know, gas flow, fluid dynamics being what they are, I thought that was pretty interesting that they were able to kind of shave a little bit more recoil reduction, especially with 308. That's going to come in handy. And last but not least, what KGM is known for as of recently is their accuracy with the suppressors. So they told me with this R30K, they did testing out to 2,300 yards with 300 Norma and had 0 point of impact shift. 2,300 yards, no impact shift with 300 Norma. So throw it on your gun. Don't worry about it shifting anything. If you remember the other review I did that I referenced on the full-size version, we didn't have any shift either. So I think, if I recall, and I haven't watched the review lately, it might have tightened some groups, which does happen. Anytime you're shooting, and I need to do a video on this, anytime you're shooting with a suppressor, typically, you know, supersonic rounds from a rifle, you will actually gain feet per second, because you get what's called freebore boost, and the powder will continue to burn in the suppressor, so you'll actually gain feet per second. So Call of Duty was wrong, shocker. And you will stabilize the gases sometimes depending on the baffle stack design, and you will actually increase accuracy, which is cool. Before we go, just wanted to remind you again, referencing the full-size video, that this is a tube within a tube design. That's how they get low back pressure when shooting on a semi-auto. You'll see little ports here that vent gas into this outer section, okay, of the tube wall. So the blast chamber goes to about right here on the step down of the suppressor. You have that gas going outward. It vents into the outer areas of the tube as the bullet goes through the center baffle stack. So you have gas bleeding two ways, and that's how you get a lot of that pressure to bleed off, making it actually quite enjoyable to shoot with a semi-auto. You don't get any port pop in your right ear when that breech opens, so that's pretty cool. So I think that's enough time in the studio today. Let's go ahead and wrap it up the range and see how it does. Nice. Oh, yeah. Steel. Alright, dirt. Much better. Whoops. Oh, guys, it was 38 degrees here this morning when I started. The humidity's high, and we have wind gusts up to 20 miles an hour. I can't feel my face, okay? It's numb, completely numb. This Florida boy is not used to shooting in this cold. Speaking of cold air, when it's more dense, suppressors typically sound louder. I did notice just 300 blackout caliber alone, I could notice that it was sounding a little louder than it normally would, say, in the summertime here at sea level. So that's something to take note of. We started out the review doing the profile scenes like we always do, and I shot the Sig Sauer MCX. Whoops. The Sig Sauer MCX 300 blackout SBR with the apex screws out, and I don't know if I edited it out or not, but the gas setting was on unsuppressed, so it jammed. It had a double feed, so then I clicked it over to suppressed mode and it ran fine, and I shot it with the apex screws out and the apex screws in. I did notice it sounded way better with the screws in. It is amazing what just that gas pressure right next to the muzzle can do. So for the remainder of the review, I just left them in. It just sounds better. As far as recoil reduction, I noticed a huge difference on the 308. Unsuppressed, this thing just has a nice, like, just snap, like a nice lob, just kind of snaps your shoulder. Suppressed, apex screws in, I mean, it felt like a pussycat. You could put, you know, your 12-year-old on this thing all day at a range and they're not going to go home all bruised up. So that's pretty cool. I still don't know how the can is shorter and it has 8% better recoil reduction. So hopefully somebody out there can explain that one to me, but it definitely shot really smooth. On the 5.56, I could shoot this thing all day, even in this colder, denser air, without ear protection in, with the suppressor on, apex screws in. I didn't shoot it with the apex screws out. It just sounds better with them in, so I left them in, like I said. Recoil, you don't really notice anything. It's a 5.56. But it's interesting that, you know, the gas settings on the SIG was giving us problems, but this, you know, out of the box Knights Armament SR15 E3, you know, it's not adjustable. The thing just ran fine. Unsuppressed and suppressed, I wasn't getting over gas. I wasn't getting, you know, gas in my eyes, and I mean, it was a little windy. I'm sure that helped, but it didn't seem to be overrunning the gun at all with the screws in. So I'm sure with the screws out, it would run, you know, great just as well. But out of all the guns here, I actually enjoyed shooting it on the 5.56 the most. And I hate shooting 5.56 suppressed. Sure, most of you do. It's supersonic. The rounds break the sound barrier. You usually get overgassed. It usually doesn't suppress very well, no matter what suppressor you have on it. I think it's just the magic of this barrel length, the 16-inch barrel, the nice, you know, K length of the R30. You know, not too much back pressure, so I didn't have any port pop on my right ear. It was very comfortable to shoot. I mean, it sounded great on this thing. I'm probably most shocked about that. 300 blackout, the full size sounds better. Okay, that's to be expected. And again, the recoil reduction and sound reduction on the 308, I could shoot that. I didn't have my ears in. Sounded fine, like ridiculously fine. So it does a great job of projecting that sound downrange. I mean, it really does. 308 sucks to suppress. I mean, you saw me grimacing earlier, I'm sure, shooting it unsuppressed. I feel like kind of a dick because it's Saturday and I started shooting at like 9:20 a.m. because I just got off work at the fire department. And, you know, with my schedule, my daughter, and editing and getting these reviews out to you guys, this is like the only day this week I could film. So I really hated shooting that. Sorry, Steve, our neighbor here. I really hated shooting the 308 unsuppressed. It's just an a-hole of a gun. It's just fireball, concussion, just birds are flying everywhere. Skydivers are shitting their pants. So shooting it with a suppressor on it is definitely gentleman-like. And it's a pussycat. It really tames it down. You can shoot it all day without ears in. Overall, the adaptability, or the versatility, I guess you could say, better word, of being able to use that industry standard threading on the back and just use different adapters. I used the direct thread 5/8 by 24 that it shipped with for the 308. I used a Rex Selenium 1/2 by 28 direct thread mount for the Knights Armament, and then I used the Dead Air Chemo for the 300 blackout. This is parts bin stuff, guys. All of you have mounts laying around at home that you can just hodgepodge together to make this thing work on whatever you have already set up in your safe. So big kudos to KGM over there. They're really putting out some cool stuff. I just wish we had more color options. So yeah, Sniper Gray's cool, but I want to be able to buy OD green, flat dark earth, and black. So hopefully one day they'll add those to the website. That'd be cool. Maybe even a raw version, you know, so you can see it heat change colors and stuff, whatever. Those of you out there that have a smorgasbord of suppressors at home like all that cool other stuff, because, you know, plain old black gets pretty boring after a while, I know, but just something to think about. If my only complaint here is the color of the suppressor, then they did a damn good job. So kudos again to KGM for that. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. All of the ammunition today was provided by 2A Warehouse. They are awesome. They're giving us a little allowance here now for ammo, so that goes a long way. So please go check out their website. They always have ammunition in stock, 308, 5.56, 9mm. I believe soon they're gonna have subsonic 9 and subsonic 300 blackout, which is awesome because you can't find it anywhere. My supply of Hush subsonic 300 blackout is dwindling, so hopefully we can time that right so I don't run out. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Axle, still an affiliate with them. I'll put their link below. Anything you buy from them, I get a little kickback, and it helps, you know, with the running cost of the channel. Of course, my biggest help with the running cost of the channel is my Patreon members. You guys rock. My gold members and up, even my gold members and below. You guys really do help spread the cost here on the channel, because it's very expensive to get out here and shoot. It takes about 3 days, 20 to 30 hours to produce one video. So keep that in mind. We have more discounts coming to my gold members. I don't want to spoil anything yet. Some big news dropping probably at the end of this year, so 12 months from now. But in the meantime, I'm going to fight for more discounts. We have 19 discounts on Patreon right now, which is epic, and I want to get that to like 20 to 25. So the cost versus discount is way in your favor for my gold members on Patreon. So go ahead and check that out. If you have not, you're probably gonna crap your pants on just what you can save on. Until next time, click that like and subscribe button, guys. The like button definitely helps this video be seen organically, because we all know how YouTube hates us. So they'll do everything they can to not let this be seen organically. So let's fight back. Click that like button, share it on Facebook, forums, whatever you can do, and we'll try to fight back one video at a time. See you next time.